Before you actually set your store alive and actually start selling some products, one of the most important things that we have to do is actually set up the tax settings. Now in this tutorial we will go through how to actually set those for our online store. We will be creating some tax rates and some tax rules, and everything else will be done automatically by the system Magento Go. Now before we actually start doing this, I would strongly suggest that you consult someone who's got more experience and who knows a bit more about tax rates in your local area, as this is something that we would actually need. Apart from that, setting up the tax settings in Magento Go is very easy. So basically what I have done, I have logged back into my account, and this is the main dashboard of my store. So what we need to do is first of all create a tax rate. So to do that, we'll actually go to start my store, go down to payments, and then select it, and then select set tax calculation. Here you'll be presented with some information about actually setting your tax calculation. It will actually say that you have to create at least one tax rate and that you have to create at least one tax rule. Now you can set up your tax rates according to your zip code or the postal code to the city or a country that you're basically placed in. Also, it will give you some information that you can create multiple tax rates and multiple tax rules that can be applied to different products and even to different customers. So basically, if you have a retail customer or a wholesale customer, you can apply different rules and different rates of tax to those people. If you would like to find out more, there is a link here that you can actually follow, and basically this will show you a bit more about tax calculation. So once you have read all this, we can click on continue. And this will now bring us to manage tax rates page. Here by default you may or may not have those two, so I have, but if you do not see those two, that's not a problem. So what we need to do is add a new tax rate. So to do that, we will click on add new tax rate button up here. Alright, this is now the add new tax rate page where we have to set some information. So first of all, we have to enter some tax identifier. So this is something that you will actually identify this tax rate by. So basically what I would like to do is I would like to add a tax rate for Australia, Victoria. So basically I will just type maybe Australia and then just go Vic for Victoria. Then I will select the country. Of course I'm talking about Australia, and therefore let's go and find Australia. Alright, now the state, so I've said this is for Victoria, and then I can use the zip postal range if I wish. For this purpose I will not use this, and I'll just go here and enter the information for the rate percentage. Now this is what is important with tax settings. You have to make sure that this percentage rate is correct for your local area. So as I said, maybe ask for some help and get some consultant to actually help you with this, tax consultant, to make sure that you get this correct. Now this is very important, and this is the most important part of this tax calculation set up for your store. Basically, if you get this wrong, you might actually run into some problems with the governments and so on. And this is becoming even more critical now that a lot of agencies, government agencies are now checking these settings for online e-commerce. So basically, because this is just a demo and I will not be selling any of my products, I believe in Victoria, in Australia, Victoria, it's around 8 or 9%. So I'll just type in here 9. And once I have done that, I will actually go here and click on save rate. Alright, so it was that easy. Now I have created a new tax rate, and this is for Australia and particularly for Victoria. So this will display the country. The country is Australia, state origin is Victoria, and our rate is actually 9%. Also here you can apply some attributes when you're searching through this list. So for example, if I go here and I just select Australia, this will actually just show me the rate for Australia. There it is, that's the tax rate that I have just created for Australia. Applying the filter here, country Australia, will just show me this. So imagine if you have like hundreds and hundreds of different tax rates and you wish to actually change something, you can just filter it either by a tax identifier. So this is the tax identifier that we actually typed in, so Australia, Victoria, or you can go country, state, region, zip code, and so on. And anytime you wish to actually edit or change this, you can just go here and click on it, and that will actually take you back to the actual settings for this particular rate, tax rate. Alright, now that we have actually entered a tax rate, what we need to do is to set a tax rule. To do so, we will go to sales, we'll go all the way down to tax, and then we will go to manage tax rules. Once again, we'll be presented with something similar to what we had at tax rates, and now we'll go and add a new tax rule. Once again, we need to enter a name, so I will go Australia, Victoria, like so. Now the customer, I will choose a retail customer, and I will choose taxable goods, and the target and the actual rate is the one that I have just created before. So once again, you have to enter your name and then choose from the actual customer tax class, choose the product tax class, so taxable goods, we're not into shipping yet, and then get your appropriate tax rate, which is the one we have just created, which is the Australia Victoria one. Now you can set the priority and sort order here, but this is something that I will not do at this time. So once all this is done, we can just click on save rule. And there it is, this is our rule set for all the purchases made from Australia Victoria. So basically this is really easy to actually set up your tax settings in Magento Go for your online store, but just be careful when you're actually setting that rate percentage. You have to make sure that it's the right amount. Other than that, Magento Go basically takes care of everything else, and now any customers that are purchasing from Australia Victoria will be charged at I believe 9% that I've actually put in for my tax rate. So that's pretty much it on actually setting up your tax settings.